Hello Void. This past weekend was Ishtarfest, so I wanted to make a video to reflect on the experience a little bit. This was my second year attending this festival. There were so many interesting presentations and workshops. I think my favorite parts were the rituals. I also really enjoyed the open mic event at the beginning of the festival, Friday night. I'm always so nervous about speaking in front of people, especially if it's live, but I did perform a poem that I wrote for Inanna during this event. I already made a video of it and posted it to this channel if you're interested. I feel like the highlight of this event was the dedication ceremony. I just felt so connected to Inanna and to her other devotees during the ceremony, and so loved too. It was so amazing. This was my second year dedicating to her at the ceremony. I guess technically I did promise her that I would dedicate my life to her over a year before the first time I did the formal ceremony with the actual priestesses, but that's a story for another time, and it has some parts that might not be appropriate for YouTube anyway. Then later on Saturday night, there was a Kipsum ritual, which is a ritual for honoring and maintaining relationships with the dead by pouring them regular libations of water for them. I got a little bit too emotional during this ritual, so I only ended up pouring for my dog Ruby on camera. Then for the rest of the humans that I wanted to honor, I did it privately. I didn't want to cry too much on camera with everybody else watching me, because emotions are a little bit embarrassing for me, but that's something I'm still working on. I'm also not sure if it's completely appropriate to include people who practiced a different religion in life. For example, would my Christian grandparents be okay with me involving them in a ritual involving other gods? And I feel like my atheist grandma would really disapprove, possibly even more than the Christian relatives. I do regularly pour water for all of my ancestors and beloved dead who are open to receiving it. I think that stipulation is a good middle ground to make sure that I'm being respectful of everybody's actual wishes and beliefs. Then Sunday night, Valerie and Ivan from the Temple of Inanna in Dumuzi did the devotional ritual that they do every month on the Friday nearest the full moon. It was beautiful as always. For anyone interested in participating, you can find them on Facebook. It's usually at 9 p.m. in Eastern Time Zone, which is, I believe, 6 p.m. California time. There were a lot of great presentations too, and I was really impressed that they got Megan Lewis from Digital Hammurabi to speak. Though it was too bad that her husband, Joshua Bowen, wasn't able to join for the presentation. I kind of wish that this were an in-person event so that I could have gotten her to sign my copies of their Learn to Read Sumerian books. It must be so weird for a Assyriologist to find out that there are still people actively worshiping the gods that they study from a purely academic standpoint. But I don't hold it against anyone for thinking it's a little bit weird, as long as they're respectful of my relationship with the gods and my practices. Because why should someone who hasn't had any direct experiences of the gods believe in them? That wouldn't make any sense. And even with experiences, I still question things all of the time. Any god that expects me to just have blind faith for no reason isn't the god for me. Anyway, it was just such a wonderful event, and I'm already looking forward to it next year. It was just so amazing to have a whole weekend surrounded by other people who are on a similar spiritual path as me. I am a member of Circle of Inanna, which is a women's circle that meets every month, and I also attend the devotional ritual with Temple of Inanna in Dumuzi almost every month as well. But there is just something magical about spending a whole weekend with other devotees connecting with our goddess, even if it is in a virtual space. I'll put the links to both groups that I mentioned in the description. I'm also open to connecting with anybody who attended Ishtarfest or any other devotees of Inanna who happen to see this. You can find me on here, on Instagram, and on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you soon.